On the morning of August 21st, 2025, what should have been a normal day in Mukachevo turned into a tense moment. The skies over the city in the Zakarpattia region, western Ukraine, were filled with the sounds of explosions as Russia launched a large-scale attack. In this operation, 574 drones and 40 ballistic and cruise missiles were fired at multiple strategic points, making it one of the most massive airstrikes of the month. Among the many targets, one site drew particular attention: a factory owned by the American company Flex, a global contract manufacturer based in Austin, Texas and Singapore. The factory produces household appliances, including coffee machines and electric kettles, and has been operating in Mukachevo for over 2 decades, employing nearly 3,000 people. When the missiles hit the facility, fires quickly spread. Loud explosions were heard for several kilometers, causing panic among workers and nearby residents. Official Ukrainian authorities reported at least 15 people injured, 6 of them hospitalized, and 1 requiring emergency surgery due to severe injuries. Firefighting teams worked tirelessly, deploying more than 96 personnel and 20 vehicles to control the fire. Even specialized fire trains from the Ukrainian railway service were called in to assist. Firefighting efforts continued late into the night. This strike not only caused extensive material damage, but also sent a clear strategic message. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky strongly condemned the attack, stating that the facility is a civilian company and represents foreign investment. Flex confirmed that all employees were safely evacuated, and emergency assistance is being provided to those affected. This incident also raised broader concerns about the safety of foreign investment in Ukraine, especially as many companies consider expanding their operations in the country in post-conflict recovery efforts. The event occurred just days after significant diplomatic moments. On August 15th, US President Donald Trump met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska, followed by a meeting on August 18th at the White House between Trump, President Zelensky, and European leaders. Analysts consider the strike on the Flex factory, which took place right after these diplomatic meetings, as a strong signal that military actions continue, indicating that interests far from the front line remain at risk. The strike on the Flex factory was not an isolated incident involving American businesses. A few months earlier, on the night of June 9th to 10th, 2025, Kyiv was shaken by an intensive wave of airstrikes. More than 315 drones, 2 ballistic missiles, and 5 cruise missiles were launched at multiple strategic locations. One of the affected facilities was Boeing's office in Kyiv, serving as a technical and engineering support center for both civilian and defense aviation projects in Ukraine. No casualties were reported, but the Boeing facility suffered significant damage. Photos released by the State Emergency Service of Ukraine showed thick smoke rising from the office building, while firefighters worked to extinguish the fire. The safe evacuation of all employees was considered a major success amid the intensity of the attack. Boeing stated that operations were largely unaffected, and recruitment and collaboration with local partners continued. The company even continued to open job positions in Ukraine, demonstrating commitment to maintaining a long-term presence in the country. The American Chamber of Commerce in Ukraine responded quickly, calling the attack part of a worrying pattern targeting American businesses in the conflict zone. According to their report, nearly half of members have experienced facility damage since the full-scale invasion began, while about 1/3 lost personnel due to the direct impacts of war. The Boeing office strike is viewed as both a physical and symbolic attack, emphasizing the challenges for foreign companies operating in Ukraine. The Flex and Boeing incidents represent the tip of the iceberg of ongoing attacks on American business interests since the invasion began in February 2022. On the first day of the invasion, a ship chartered by agribusiness giant Cargill was attacked near the port of Odessa. Although the crew was unharmed, Cargill's assets, including a sunflower oil plant and grain complex in the Kherson region, fell under occupation without compensation. Other multinational companies were affected as well. Coca-Cola reported significant damage to its Ukrainian plant early in the invasion. Pepsi's facility in Kyiv was damaged in 2023 due to debris from a downed missile. Philip Morris temporarily closed its production site in Kharkiv and invested over $30 million to establish additional production lines in western Ukraine. The attacks also impacted the service sector. McDonald's restaurants in major cities repeatedly had to close for reconstruction after missile and drone strikes. Microsoft's office in Kyiv experienced disruptions due to damage to nearby energy infrastructure, causing operational interruptions across the area. This pattern of targeted attacks shows a focus not only on military objectives, but also on economic symbols and foreign presence in Ukraine. The Flex factory in Mukachevo, far from frontline areas, was selected as a target during a coordinated strike. This demonstrates that no location can be considered completely safe, even those previously regarded as secure. For international investors, the message is clear. Risks remain high despite government and allied efforts to maintain stability. The Boeing strike reinforces this perception, even as the company continues operations. The psychological impact on local employees is significant, knowing that their workplaces can become potential targets. Strategically, these actions can also be interpreted as pressure on diplomacy. The strike on Flex, occurring days after meetings between Trump and Putin, illustrates the complexity of the conflict dynamics. The message is clear: escalation control remains in place, even as diplomatic channels are active. This timeline and analysis covers attacks on American business facilities in Ukraine, including the major strike on Flex in Mukachevo on August 21, 2025, and Boeing's office in Kyiv on June 9 to 10, 2025. These events highlight ongoing challenges for foreign investment and how the conflict impacts civilian economic sectors. If you found this report informative, support this channel by subscribing and turning on notifications. Share this video with your community to help others understand the economic effects of these events. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next update.